Okay, let's get started. It's Friday, November 1st, 2024. I thought I'd be making this video. I just didn't know I'd be making it this morning, so soon after I released the video this morning that I recorded yesterday called Big Decision, Big Change. Um, if you haven't checked out that video, that'll give you some context to what is happening here. I'll summarize a little bit. Hi, I'm Bill, and welcome to Astro Vagabond. So things kind of just work out. I'm a person that things just kind of fall in place. And if you saw the video that I recorded yesterday, I have essentially made a decision to remote host my EdgeHD 8 telescope with my AM5 mount and some other pieces of equipment, camera and filter wheels and that, my Giotto, and I'm purchasing a couple of things like an Alto and a new top rail and those type of things. But uh, the video was about reasons why I'm making the decision to remote host at least one of my telescopes, maybe down the road based upon how this experience goes. Maybe it'll be two. There were several factors that I outlined in the video. One was just the cost for me to travel. When I travel 473 miles to go out to the desert, or like down here 618 miles, the gas costs alone for fuel come close to what the monthly hosting fee is going to be for my Edge H8, Edge HD8 at Starfront Observatories. Then there's my monthly fee of Starlink that I don't necessarily need all the time based upon where I'm imaging from. And then there's just the time away from home. And then you travel like I've traveled down here to Borrego Springs for Nightfall 2024. And, it turns out that several nights it's going to be clouded in. And, you've already traveled that far, and so you got this additional lost time, not including the lost time during the day waiting for darkness of the next night. So anyway, you might want to check out that video. And also I share some more about, I use a plugin by Tom Palmer called Target Scheduler. I'm a Nina user, and I was showing some of the features and commenting how it really makes my imaging easy breezy. And actually, the fact that I'm using that piece of software, that plugin, is going to fit in well with remote hosting one of my telescopes. But as I woke up this morning, I really wasn't 100% certain what I was going to do. My wife was on board. It makes sense. Financially, economically, it makes sense. Recovering some of my time that I lose by being out on these trips, that has value, so I recover that. So anyway, I'm imaging a couple of targets last night, Sharpless 130 and Sharpless 240. They finish, 240 finishes at like 5:45 in the morning, and I go out there, put my lens caps on and everything, and kind of looking around, and some empty spots and everything yet, so people probably be coming in today. And so put my cover on and everything, and I crawl back into bed, get a couple more hours of sleep. And so I go out there to retrieve my thumb drive so I could copy my data over, and this is what I see. This is in the site next to me, and this is going to block a substantial part of my sky that I need for one of my targets tonight. Well, it's going to be cloudy anyway tonight and probably tomorrow night. So again, no big deal, but this really just iced the decision for me that yes, go ahead, place that order, and let's get the project moving so we can get this Edge HD8 hosted and up and operational for Galaxy season. And I really want to go and give this person a kiss, really, for parking that two-story building essentially next to my site. I could probably move my telescope forward, polar alignment and those type of things, and maybe I'll catch part of that target. But again, with the cloud and everything tonight, I think I'm just going to go to the seminar tomorrow, and then tomorrow night I'm going to start packing up and head home a couple of days early. But what we're going to do here, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to show you um, how to reserve a Pier. And quickly, if you're not familiar with Starfront, I'll take just a couple of moments here to go over it. But starfront.space, um, there's About Us, located near Brady, Texas, under World Class Portal 1 Skies. Um, Information about their facility, on-site tech support. Again, it's kind of like an internet data center concept. If any of you have worked around internet data centers, you host your servers and network devices into a data center, and then the company running the data center generally has what's called smart hands or remote hands that you could create tickets, and then they'll pick up that ticket and do a task for you and all that. So they do have support. They say 220 plus clear nights per year. You get Ethernet connectivity. They say extremely dark skies. And again, one thing that I mentioned in the video I released this morning that I recorded yesterday was I'm imaging in Bortle 3 and 4 skies, mostly Bortle 4 skies. And I've been not putting the amount of time into a target as far as collecting enough data, enough signal to really make that target, when I process it, really kind of stand out. And this is the first trip, I think, on the Sharpless 240, also known as Spaghetti Nebula. Well, I was going to leave with about 25 hours, but maybe I only have about 20 hours worth right now. When I look at the images that are really impressive to me, they've got like 30 hours or more, and their data is collected under skies that are darker than Bortle 4. So another value for me is getting my EdgeHD 8 into darker skies. Um, More days per year, in a sense, for me to image with it, since I basically have been doing 3 and 4 day trips. I've been trying to get a couple of targets, 2, 3 targets, and I haven't really been putting enough uh, integration time into any of those targets. So I think there's some value for this approach for me based upon what my needs are. And here's some videos you know, that you could take a look at. But basically, what I'm going to do here is step through the process. I've gone up to their site here, and I just want to make sure we're capturing this. And here you can find your scope type. I've got a Celestron 8-inch EdgeHD. If I was going to operate without a shield, I would qualify for the light Pier. I want to use the dew shield, aluminum dew shield that I have, and therefore that's going to move me into a standard. But they have a list of scopes here and everything, so you can kind of look up and see which category as far as Pier type you would fall in. So let's go down here. Let's add it to the cart. View my cart. And so here's it. I agree with the terms and conditions. Let's take a quick look at that. And I won't go through everything. But basically, they protecting themselves in a sense, and letting the people that choose to host their telescope there what the services are that are provided, and allocated space on a rented pier, reliable power supply to ensure the continuous operation of the telescope equipment, And they, again, they'll make commercially reasonable efforts to maintain power availability, but they do not guarantee uninterrupted power supply. Again, Texas, weather, uh, tornadoes can go through there. I expect power outages. So those all are risks that I would be taking as far as availability of power. And also, if a tornado hit their facility, I mean, I'd kind of lose the investment that I have in my Edge HD8. One day I'll be able to say that correctly. Um, so there's those kind of risks there. So I've thought those through. Internet connectivity, high speed internet access, um, but they're not liable for any interruptions or connectivity issues caused by external factors. And with my years of experience in internet and internet data centers, depending on who your providers are, they do maintenance, they do different things, and that could interfere with the connectivity of getting your data uh, out of the facility. Generally a provider will declare like a 2 or 3 hour maintenance windows and those type of things. So, uh, dark skies access. The efforts to provide access to dark skies through its observatories, automated roll-off roofs. However, the company makes no representations or warranties regarding the number of clear nights, sky quality, darkness of the skies, or any other environmental factors that are beyond the company's controls. It's kind of like where I image in California sometimes. If there's a wildfire in the area, that smoke can move through. And, these are just things that kind of happen. Maintenance and support. The company will perform routine maintenance and provide technical support as specified in the agreement. Any additional services requested by the customers may be subject to additional fees. Again, they have remote hands or smart hands. And then they go what the customer agrees to pay for recurring monthly Pier rental subscription fees and other fees as detailed in pricing schedule in Exhibit A. And then, late fees, more terms and conditions, terms and termination. The highlight here is the customer may cancel this agreement at any time for any reason by providing at least 10 days advance written notice prior to the next monthly subscription payment date to cancellations at starfront.space. So they also hold the right to terminate me. Uh, and and then there's some other stuff. Ownership of the equipment, telescope remains the property of the customer. Uh, what the customer's responsibilities are. When it comes to equipment, customers responsible for delivering their telescope equipment to the company's facility in good working order. Um, the customer must provide accurate and complete information about the equipment and its condition and requirements. Um, Many people ship to the facility. I plan to drive the gear down. Um, Software, customers responsible for the software. Internet usage, they could throttle you if you abuse the bandwidth. But I think for normal transfer of your images up to the cloud, like in my case, I would imagine it's going to be my Google Drive. That's all acceptable usage. And for remoting in to your equipment at the site. Um, While insurance is not mandatory for customers' site and facilities, it's recommended for the customer's peace of mind. I may look into that, given you know, uh, you know, having the equipment there in that part of Texas, depending on how many tornadoes and things that they might have, the type of weather, and that I might take a look at it. But Customer must provide company with any special installation or ongoing maintenance requirements. Documentation. Customer must provide a full inventory, including serial numbers, condition reports, and photos of each items. This is interesting. Flat panel light control. The customer shall be solely responsible for ensuring that their flat panels do not emit any light, either intentionally or unintentionally, within the observatory after the commencement of astronomical dark. The customer agrees that any breach of this policy will result in the permanent removal of the customer's flat panel by the company in order to protect the experiences of all other customers. The customer shall bear all costs associated with the return of the flat panel. Yeah, I don't see this as a problem because, I'll take my flats outside of the hours of darkness. The company agrees to provide a steel pier, a machine top plate, access to electricity and internet. Again, reasonable measures to ensure physical security, commercially reasonable efforts to ensure the availability of the hosting services. And so here's some additional information, but I'll put the link to starfront.space in the video description, and site access and everything. I did ask them if I dropped the equipment off, would I be able to make a video down there. I'm waiting for their response. I understand that, they generally don't want people walking through the customer area where there's other scopes and stuff like that. But we'll see what they might allow, and then when I drive down there, I'll do a video on that. And then things here on terms where if you're going to transfer ownership of your equipment, they have some things that cover that aspect. So let's go down here to Schedule A is what I'm looking for. Okay. So, acceptance of terms. By checking the I accept the terms and conditions checkbox, you acknowledge that you have read, understood, and agreed to be bound by the terms and conditions. These terms constitute the entire agreement between Starfront and the user regarding the use of the hosting services provided by the company. So here's Exhibit A, pricing schedule, monthly recurring Pier rental fee as by category. Again, I think I'm going to be in the standard Pier. I have a question about my Alto. Does that change anything? But I don't expect it will. And then there's an installation fee. Again, I'd pay $299 for their installation. They have a provision here if you wanted to piggyback a scope on a scope. And then they have information about technical support, advanced technical support, $50 per hour, includes but not limited to collimation, tip tilt, setup changes, etc. And collimation is one thing I'm hoping. I've gotten pretty good at it. My stars look pretty good. But, after traveling the scope that many miles down there, I will have them request a ticket for them to do a collimation, and hopefully with it being on the pier and I'm not moving it around, unlocking and locking the mirrors and all that kind of stuff, I'm hoping that the collimation will be persistent over the longer term than it might be currently with me transporting the EdgeHD around. So I'm about to agree, and then I'm going to hit PayPal and going to make my deposit. So if you're interested in this project that I'm embarking on to host my EdgeHD 8 at Starfront Observatories, make sure to click the notification bell, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and that way you'll be aware of the new content that's coming in. As I said in the video I released this morning, big decision, big change. I expect I'm not going to be doing these trips anymore out to dark sites and everything. will still have my Red Cat 51. I don't have a mount for it right now because I sold my uh, EQ6R Pro, and I'm going to put my AM5 mount down at Starfront Observatories. And actually, I was talking to someone that made me aware of Starfront Observatories, Greg Mayer, and I have a link to his Astrobin in the video I released this morning. He's got some amazing stuff, and he hosts his one of his scopes down in Starfront. Uh, when he was talking with him, and he says, well, he's got an EQ6R Pro and he's got an AM5. They said send the AM5 because these harmonic type mounts, um, they'll home. They know where home is, so they'll home themselves. So I got to dig into that a little bit more. But yeah, the EQ6R Pro, I guess, doesn't home. I always parked it at the end of the night. So um, anyway, this is where I'm headed. The content will be around the data collection using a remote observatory, and then I'm going to focus more on processing. I've got a big backlog of 5, and with these 7 projects now that I got to get uh, processed. And I really just got to sit down and I've got to do this part of the hobby. Clearly, the data collection part I enjoyed more. I enjoyed getting the scope, mount, everything working well, where I'm getting good guiding and good stars and all that. Um, that part is going away in a sense because I'm not going to be traveling, setting things up, and doing that. So my content will be around more of the data collection and what targets I'm hitting, uh, the how I'm processing the targets, a little bit about the targets, and I still may, if I buy a mount for my Red Cat 51, because I don't want to sell it, and in the long term, I may actually, if the experience is good with Starfront, as far as my Edge HD8, I might look to put my Red Cat down there. A couple of things I have to do to get it fully automated. Uh, and I've been working the last 8 months or 9 months and trying to get both my scopes as automated as possible. So, because I had an idea that at one day I would be doing what I'm about to do when I click this checkout button here. So, anyway, um, I'm gonna miss those trips where I was able to meet up with Christian and Patrick and Floor, and maybe if I get a mount for my Red Cat come springtime when I put some money together, maybe I'll still do a couple of trips a year to meet friends and those kind of things. But my focus is going to be trying to get maximum work out of my Edge HD8 once it lands in the Starfront Observatories, and that's I think going to be fun. And it's going to free up my daytimes. It's going to save me money. I'm going to be able to play pickleball every day and stay fit, and and these are all important things to me as well. And when I'm on a trip like this, um, I don't have the ability to play pickleball and those type of things, which is my major fitness sport right now, and it's been doing me a lot of good, getting me healthy and those type of things. So there's a lot of value that's going to come back to me, let alone the reduction in cost for fuel and the Starlink subscription. There's many other value that I'm going to get through this, being with my wife more often, uh, and those type of things. So, all right. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And check out the Amazon links in the video description. If you use one of the links to go to Amazon, even though you don't buy the item at the end of the link, the fact that you used one of my links to go there, if you buy anything within 24 hours, I get affiliate marketing credit and it costs you nothing. And what that means is I get a few pennies to help offset some of the costs of producing the videos and traveling and now, hosting out of a remote facility and things like that. So if you like the content, you want to help a little bit, that's a great way to do it. All right. Other than that, clear skies. See you next time.